Hello everybody, it's Teah Woodward here from Stamp with Teah. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I come to you, sorry, just now looking at my hair in the camera. I come to you every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock to do some mystery stamping. And yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight. Let's see, what can I talk to you about while we wait for people to get on? Let's see, we're in the middle of celebration, and I have some swaps. I participated with a group where we all made cards and exchanged. And so I think there were 10 people in the group, and so I get 10 cards. I send 10 cards, I get 10 cards back. And this particular theme was literally using the celebration, I think it's right here, using items that were in the celebration flyer. So I'm going to show you that at the beginning of this video. Let's see. So that's going well. What else can I tell you? We have a really special promotion coming out in February. Mine hasn't arrived yet, but as soon as it has, I will make up some samples and start showing them to you, and it's called All Together. And what it is Stampin' Up! Is going to be offering, it's 8 or 10 new skin tone colors. They can be used for skin tone or they can be used for hair, but they're new blender pens. And I'm really excited to play with that. There's a stamp set, a die set, and some designer series paper. Those will not be offered in the new, hi Sonia, hi Michelle. Those items will not be carried over into the new annual catalog, but those new blender pens will. Hi Andy, good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Well, so that's what we've got going on, is we've got that promotion coming. So that will be available to customers beginning February. I need to double check, but I think it's February 1st. Yeah, so celebration, that new promotion coming, and I think we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn my camera down. Teresa, hi. Good to see you on here too. I'm going to turn my camera down, and I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes showing you and giving credit to whoever made these swaps using items out of this celebration flyer. Just want to inspire you. If you've wondered what, am I really interested in the otters? Maybe this will make you want them. So I'm going to turn the camera down. Oh, thank you, Michelle. That's so sweet of you. I was just thinking my hair didn't get parted right. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness gracious. Let's see. I'm just a little bit busy today in a good way. I had a party over the weekend, and today was the day that we closed out the party, put in the final order, did a drawing for all of the prizes, that sort of thing. And it was a really, really good party. And the hostess, she had $143 in Stampin' rewards to spend, and then she earned all kinds of free stuff. It was really, really good. Okay, so I'm going to open up the celebration flyer, and I've got it in order of, I've got these samples in order of the pages here. So I don't have anything for this first one, the Island Vibes. There was nothing there. And then here's the Daffodil Afternoon. So let me show you some of the samples that were made with that. I actually made this one. And you can see this is one of the designer series papers. I literally just put it on a little black mat, put a stamped black on the, I think this was Flirty Flamingo, the sentiment, did a black and white on the inside, and that's literally done. This one, somebody used our scalloped contour dies to frame the designer series paper. They also used the bumblebee trinkets. This is one of the sentiments that's on another stamp set that's towards the back of this catalog. And this, I don't think this one tells me who made this one. Nope, I don't know who made this one, so I can't give them credit. And there's another one here. They did like a little patchwork of some of the designer series paper on the front. This again is one of those sentiments that's on another stamp set in the back. Let's see, this one was made by Stephanie Fuoco. So here we've got those brass butterflies. Again, this is another sentiment that's from that stamp set in the back that I'll be showing you. Isn't this a fun fold? It's really sweet. I like it. I really like the look of this. She did a great job. This is one that I came up with for that party. This is one of the make and takes that they did at the party this last weekend. And basically I cased this picture right out of the catalog and then adjusted it ever so slightly. So this is the Amazing Thanks dies that are in the new mini catalog. So this is a slim line. If this looks different, slim line is a different dimension of card, and we sell envelopes to match that size. Okay, that's everything for the daffodils. I think I have one card for this Catching Butterflies. I do. And this was done by Elaine Gentner. Oops. So how cute is that? And it looks like she's used some of the designer series paper that's from the Rainbows, Sunshine and Rainbows, I think it's called. How cute. That's very sweet. And then we have, this is, oops, Driving By. So this is one that I demoed earlier this week. So is this one. And then this one was designed by Anne-Marie Heil. She's part of my extended team in my third upline. That's super cute. So that's actually all three of the cars or automobiles that are in that stamp set. All right, next. Which one did you like, Andy? I might have gone too fast. Was it the one with the gifts stacked on top? It's super, super, super cute. Then we have, let's see, this one was made by Kim Henderson. So here we're looking at designer series paper, Sunshine and Rainbows. These clouds are from this designer series paper. All of the daffodil ones were gorgeous. Yes, I agree. Love them. They really did a spectacular job in putting this catalog together. This coordinates back to, why is the rainbow bundle, the name of the rainbow bundle is, I thought they would say it, I'm sure that they say it, and I'm just looking way too hard and I'm not seeing it. But it coordinates to the set that's back in the mini catalog. Now this is from the annual catalog. This is a, part of a hostess package, but this paper in here is from the from this set. And this is another one that I did, but these are all designer series papers that came out of here. And you can see I basically cased this. Except that I used a different embossing folder and I added a lot more gems. I've got a ton of gems on here and butterflies. Okay, next. Almost done. I've only got 4 cards left in here. Amazing Otters. So I don't have any of this Simply Marvelous paper. I'm sure I will, but I don't yet. So we have Awesome Otters. This card was made by June Leyendecker. And this is actually some of the designer series paper from that last pack that I was showing you. But how cute is this? Like, did she blow that out of the water or what? So freaking cute. And then here's another one. And this one was made by Christy Hillock. Yep, Hillock. She used an embossing folder here, and then this is part of that designer series paper from that last pack as well. You are utterly awesome. And then just 2 more cards. And they are both from this collection, from the Friendly Hello stamp set. So this one, so this stamp set and this designer series paper come together and, for free with a $100 purchase, qualifying $100 purchase. So she's used this fray ribbon that is available in the new mini catalog. She's used the designer series paper that's shown here. She's stamped on the background using these stamps, and this sentiment is from here as well. So cute, cute, oh look at this, cute, cute card. I did give her name. No, I didn't give her name. This is Amanda Pittman made this card. And then this one is a little fun fold, and I'm trying to see, I don't think that I have the designer's name. I don't. But here you can see the bird and the flower, which is right here on the stamp. I'm trying to remember the name of this die. I want to say Enchanted Circles. That's not right. I'll think of it. But anyway, this is one of our dies. She has used an embossing folder here, and then the card opens up like this. Isn't that sweet? And it looks, okay, so this little stamp that's down here in the corner, she's used on the inside. So those are the swaps that I received, cards using the Celebration flyer. Now we can get down to our business. I received these swaps, and a lot of times I forget to show them to anybody, and I wanted to make sure they were shown this time. Are you all ready for this? This card is so simple and yet so pretty. So here are the pieces that I asked you to have prepared. Let's see, did I do that right? I did that wrong. Hold on. There we go. There we go. All right. So, do I have anybody crafting with me? I hope so. So we have 2 pieces of colored cardstock, one that's 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to do some scoring on that. And then we have 1 piece that's 3.25 by 6. Then we have 1 piece of basic white that's, yay, Andy, thank you. We have 1 piece of basic white that's 2.75 by 5.25. Then we have 3 pieces of designer series paper. The first one is 3 by 4 inches. We have 1 piece that is 5.25 wide by 1 inch high, and then 1 piece that's 5.25 inches wide by 2.75 inches high, wide and high. Okay? So the first thing you're going to want to do is set your designer series papers aside, and also your basic white piece, and get out your score tool. So whatever you're using in order to measure and score some lines. And let's see, I'm looking in the camera to make sure that you can see. Whoops, there we go. Bang, crash, bang. We're going to take your largest piece, and it's going to, you're going to put the long side along the ruler. And the first score line is going to be at 3 inches. So line that up. And make sure your blade is out of the way before you use your score tool. There we go. Second score line, so first score line is at 3, second score line is at 6. So again, be careful that your blade is out of the way. 3, 6. one more score line on this piece. Am I going too fast or are we doing okay? I will repeat the scoring instructions as I go, so I don't want anyone to panic. Then we're going to stop at 7 1/4. Just slide that paper over at 7 1/4. So we're at 3, 6, and then 7 1/4 inches. Just like that. I'm going to set that aside, and you're going to get out your smaller piece. And again, it's going to be scored. You're going to measure along the long edge. And this one is easy. It's one score line. You're going to score at 4 1/4 inches. Just like that. So, for anyone who's crafting with me, I know that Andy is, sometimes Michelle is able to. I'm going to go over these score lines again. We're at 3, 6, 7 1/4, and then 4 1/4. If somebody would let me know that they are caught up, then we can move on to the next step. And we can remove our score tool at this time. You're done now scoring. All right, thank you, Andy. So now you're going to grab out your bone folder, and I need my piercing mat because my tabletop is textured, so I don't want to leave any shiny marks on my cardstock. And the first thing that we're going to do is at the 3-inch mark, you're going to fold and you're going to burnish with your bone folder, just like that. All right? Then, and I did leave a shiny even though I tried not to. Then at the 6-inch mark, you're going to fold the other direction. And you're going to use your bone folder to firm up your crease. Make it nice and clean. And you have one more score line on here. You're actually going to fold that the opposite direction. I'm going to open my card back up because I don't want to emboss this edge on this bigger piece of paper. So you're folding it back like such, and you're using your bone folder to crease it. So now, I think you should be able to see this. This is what your piece, the bigger piece, should look like after you've scored, or after you have burnished your edges. I'm going to set that to one side. We're going to take this piece, fold back, use your bone folder, and get a nice crease. Just like that. Easy peasy, right? Next, so let me know when you're done, and I will show you the next step. We had nice, or fairly decent weather here today. I had to make a run to work, and I got lucky and got to drive on all dry road, both directions. So that was awesome. Okay, you're all folded. Let's go to the next step. Thank you for letting me know. So I'm going to take the 3-inch by 4-inch piece of designer series paper, and in the directions that I posted earlier, I mentioned that there was a width and a height, and that's just in case your paper was directional. So for instance, my paper is directional. If I turned it this way, it wouldn't match up with my other pieces of paper. So we're going to adhere this piece of designer series paper to the front of this small piece here. Now you'll notice that I have a perimeter around here. It might be a little hard to see because I have a dark background. Let's see if I can do this. Here we go. Now you can see it. So there's about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So you want to make sure that when you put your adhesive on the back, that you're getting that centered. So that's what I'm going to do. Our Designer Series papers have prints on both sides, and this beautiful fresh freesia print on the other side, but I wanted this wood appearance on mine. I like the planks. I'm a sucker for any paper that has a wood print on it. All right. The next piece of paper that we're going to adhere will be the, is it 2 3/4 by 5 1/4? We are going to adhere that right in here. And again, you've got that perimeter, and you're going to want to keep that kind of matched up. It just kind of keeps the card fluid. And hi, Carol. I was 22, and I am so sorry, Andy. We're just warming up. Oh my gosh. 22. And I bet you're wearing a sweater as well. Alrighty, so I am going to adhere my Designer Series paper right like that. Notice that my edges, my frame on each side is approximately the same. I'm not going to measure it. I can eyeball it. Okay, and then your last piece of Designer Series paper, or DSP as we call it in the business, is going to be adhered on this front flap, and again it's going to be centered. How you doing, Carol? We've been quiet on our page today. I don't know how anybody's doing. I know that Kathy's feeling a little better. How are you feeling, dear? Let's see. I think over in the Tri-Cities, I think it got into the high 30s today. We were quite a bit warmer than that here. I actually saw 60 when I was driving back and forth to work. All right. Hi, Donna. We got a party going on. Yay. Okay. So there we go. So I'm going to go over the instructions again really quick, just because it doesn't take hardly any time to get to the stage that we're at right now. So we had one piece of cardstock that was 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and we've scored it at 3, 6, and 7 1/4. Then we have another piece of colored cardstock that was 3 1/4 by 6, and we scored it at 4 1/4. Okay, we had 3 pieces of Designer Series paper, and we've lined them up in these locations. We've just centered them on those locations. This is where it gets way easy, everybody. This is so fun. I mean, we're almost to the decorating stage. Really, the mystery is, hi Donna, the mystery is in not knowing what we're going to start with, but then I always let you all just decorate it however you want. Okay, so this card, this piece, you're going to keep the flap towards the top. This is the front bottom of your card. We are going to adhere this right here. And you want these perimeters, these, your Night of Navy perimeter here, to line up so that it looks nice and straight. Okay? So you just want to put adhesive. You don't want to put adhesive all over the back of this. You just want to put enough. So this is a 1 1/4 inch height. I would go for the 1 to 1 1/8 inch height of adhesive. And for this card, I recommend putting it in the center of this other card. But when you play with your own later on, you might want to do it off to one side. And I'll tell you why in a couple of minutes when I give it away what kind of card we're making. some people might already know. So I'm lining up my edge is nice and flush across the bottom. Now, to adhere this flap to the back, and I'm going to, let's see, I'm looking in my camera to see if you can see. It's hard with this Night of Navy. I'm going to show you with a piece of white here. That's how far, so it's a skosh under a ½ inch is how far this overlaps onto the back. You're going to put adhesive just underneath this edge. Here, you're going to lay your card down flat, like you see that I've done here. It's completely collapsed, and you're going to adhere that. And then that is going to be covered. Don't do it yet because we need to stamp on this, but that is going to be covered by this, and you're going to have a nice clean finish back here. Okay? So the instruction is to add adhesive just along this edge. And I'm going to turn this so that my other hand can access it a little bit better. And of course, I made it extra wide, so I'm going to have to go and wipe that down just a little bit because I don't trust it. It's probably safe, but I am not taking the chance. There we go. Now my card is completely collapsed, and I'm going to go ahead and flip that back and press that in place. Andy, I know that you are crafting with me. Let me know if you're caught up to this stage so that I don't go barreling ahead. And if anybody else is crafting with me, let me know. You are caught up. Beautiful. Okay, so the next step is we are going to stamp on this piece of cardstock, and this piece of cardstock is the back of your card, but it's also where a message would be written. So you can decorate it as much or as little as you want. If you wanted to, you could use a piece of your designer series paper and do some side strips or a strip across the bottom. I am going to stamp on mine. I have not planned what my stamp will be. Oh, I think I know what it'll be. I think it's going to be a bee. So tonight I'm using the designer series paper and the stamp sets, Blessings of Home and Honeybee Home. All of this product is from the Heart and Home collection that's in the new mini catalog. I am going to stamp with the bees. I like the bees. I like them a lot. Now, I don't have a very big piece of paper here, so I want to be careful that I don't do anything too big. I mean, if I wanted, I could do like part of a flower. That would be really lovely, actually. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I really like, well, I mean, I'm going to use the bees on the front. I know that for a fact. So I need a block, and I'm using black ink tonight. Yeah, it is a cool base. This is called a faux step card. I don't like how that ink is going on this. I need a piece of scrap paper to test that. And this is one that I've seen recently show up online. And I went and I looked it up. That's actually not too bad. I went and I looked it up on Pinterest, a couple of different ways. I actually have a little less paper reduction in the dimensions that I've given. The others that I saw all did a little bit more waste, and I didn't see any reason for it, so I altered the dimensions. know why that's acting so heavy, but it is acting heavy. And I think I will go ahead and throw just a little, I'm going to do a little bit of blending on the front of my card, so I'm going to go ahead and throw just a little bit on the back. I think I'll use fresh freesia. Yeah, and it was a really easy base too, Donna. It was fast. I mean, once I did my practice card, I actually thought, well, maybe I should have saved this for one of my classes. I hope my head's not in the camera. If it is, my apologies, everybody. A little hard for me to reach in front of my body these days. I'll be better soon. Okay, I've just laid down some of the light fresh freesia. I'm going to go back and throw in some highlights of the dark to create some shading. And I'm going to call that good. I'm going to mix a little bit of Granny Apple Green with my Old Olive. I love Old Olive for my foliage, but the fresh freesia I thought would be a bit more fresh looking, and the Granny Apple Green has a bit more fresh looking, so I'm playing with my colors, everybody. Using my bullet tip. And I'm just going in and doing just a little bit of highlighting. Let's see. There we go. All right. So I am going to now adhere this to the back of my card, and this would be where I would write a message. So that's how I'm going to clean up this little overlap in the back. You know, I think I have the name of the person who was the first. I don't have, it's on my phone, which I'm using to film this right now, but when I post after the live, I will give credit to the person who had the first card that I saw using this base. She was the inspiration. I didn't do a direct case, but all right. So that's how we cleaned up the back. See? Now we can decorate the front, and this is how your card sits, just like that. So you can be as intricate or not as you want to the front of your card. I am going to use, well, first of all, I'm going to change my black ink pad because I think there's too much ink on it, but I have a second one. I'm back. And I already meant, it's like, where did it go? I already put it on a block. So at the beginning of the video, or at the beginning of this Facebook Live, I showed some of the swaps that I received from a group that I swap with from my third upline through Stampin' Up. And everything was out of the Celebration flyer. And so that was fun. That was nice to see. Okay, setting that aside. I'm setting my card aside. Andy, how are you doing? I want to make sure I'm not going too fast. I know that you told me the other night you have some experience doing this, so probably not going too fast. Okay. That is very vanilla. I don't want very vanilla. I want basic white. There we go. All right, I am going to ink up You're adhering, you're back to perfect. We're right on schedule together. This one looks like it's inking kind of weird too. I think this requires another test stamp. I wonder if I just grabbed the same one I put over there. No, that looks pretty fine. Okay. Sometimes it's just the way that the rubber is carved. When you put the ink on, it looks like it's really heavy, and then you print it over here and it's actually quite light. It's just how it holds the ink. All right. So I've just got a piece of scrap white here. I'm going to stamp my flower stem. So there's two different flowers in the Blessings of Home, two different flower arrangements. One here, one here. This one has like 3 or 4 different flowers in it. This one has 2. And I don't like how that did it, so I'm going to flip it over. I've got 2 sides to my paper. I'm going to try this again. I'm just barely touching my ink to the stamp, but I did just re-ink one of the 2 black stamp pads, excuse me. That one's better. That one's better. There's no... Yep, there we go. I can use that one. And I'm going to go ahead and clean off my stamp pad right now. So the chamois is just awesome. It saves you so much time to have it at your workstation while you're working. Clean off your stamp so you don't stick your finger in it, for one thing. I am going to use my mini cut and emboss machine to cut this out. So I need to trim this down to I think it's 3.5 inches is what my mini can handle. I could have put this through my big machine, but I've got my mini sitting here. Set this aside. Oh, and I'm going to adhere my die with a piece of this Post-it tape. Now, we did hear an update on the magnetic plates that go with the cut and emboss machines, and that is that they are hoping to have the new magnetic sheets available. Somebody just knocked on the window outside of the room that I'm in, and that is bizarre. Somebody's playing tricks, I think. Or somebody's got their dog in the flower bed. I am not going to go and check. My husband's in the other room, so I know I'm perfectly safe. All right. Anyway, the magnetic sheets, they are hoping to have them available, fingers crossed, in the new mini catalog, or excuse me, in the new annual catalog, which comes out in May. All right. So I lined up my die around my stamped image, running it through my mini cut and emboss machine. Now, because it's a mini, it's much lighter weight, and so I have to put some pressure on the handle to hold it in place while I'm rotating the handle. But the big one, I don't need to do that with. All right. We are coming right along, my friends. Andy, I would love to know what stamp set you're using. You are obviously not required to tell me, but I would love to know. Let's see. I think you got your new order. Okay, so I'm going to throw a little bit of color in this now. So I used fresh freesia on the back. I'm going to use fresh freesia and a little bit of balmy blue. Those greens that I already mentioned, old olive and granny apple green. And then I've got a couple yellows over here as well that maybe I'll use in the middle of my flowers. So I'm going to just dump my pens here and I'm just going to go for it. So I'm going to add my little blue flowers first. I just really had an envision of having these little mini flowers be this sweet blue. I don't know if it's because I had picked the Night of Navy for my card base. Can't tell if that's a flower. All right, so a little bit of blue in there. I'm going to go ahead and make these bigger flowers the fresh freesia, and I'm going to lay down the light first. So I'm just going to use the brush tip, and if I leave a little bit of white, I'm not going to worry about it, because when you look at something, when you take a picture of it and such, you'll see a little bit of white. You'll see where there's a reflection or an intensity of reflection or light coming back at you. So I just threw my light fresh freesia on. I'm going to go back with my dark, and I'm going to just highlight where some of the shading is in the stamp. They make it really easy for us to figure out where to put the color. And then I'm going to put yellow in this. I think I mentioned that already. Andy says, oh, beautiful, beautiful, yay. I can't wait to see it. Okay, I'm going to use my dark saffron in the middle of my blue flowers. I haven't decided if I'm going to throw any of the dark on my blue. I used the light, and I'm going to wait and see how the balance all looks once I add my greens. Okay, next are my greens. And I'm really tempted to stick mostly with the granny apple and then highlight with the old olive. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in and throw some ink on these leaves. I'm using the light granny apple green just to look at everything starting to pop. I mean, isn't the front of this card going to be so easy to decorate? And you could really get quite intricate or not. All depends on what you want to do. Let's see. I've got some stems here that I need to color. I could avoid coloring them, but I think I'm going to come in with my bullet tip and just kind of skim. I'm not going to do a hard press. I'm just going to kind of like a sketch. Just like that. All right, but see, there's lack of depth in there. So I'm going to go back with the dark granny apple green. I'm going to use the bullet tip. And like I did with the dark fresh freesia, I'm just going to go in and add that where, now if it looks bulky and streaky, it's okay. I can fix that with the light granny apple green. But I'm just hitting those dark spots, those excuse me, highlights that are built right into the stamp. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? And I'm going to come back with the brush tip. And these are alcohol markers, and so the light and dark blend really very easily together. So I'm just going back over where I have laid down that dark granny apple green. I'm just going over it with the light. And as it dries, it'll blend out. Excuse me while I get a sip. Let's see. Light Daffodil Delight. I'm going to start with the light Daffodil Delight in the center of these two flowers. See if that's enough, or do I need to go to the darker yellow? It's easy to darken it up. It's harder to lighten it up. And you can probably hear that my pen is sounding a little dry. It sounds like I need to order a new one. Oh, both tips are sounding dry. I think I'm going to add a little bit of the dark. Excuse me. All right, we have the bullet tip and the brush tip. And I'm going to go in with that bullet tip and just add some color around that outer edge. And then in the center there. I almost don't think that even needs to be blended. Darn it, I don't know why I got a tickle. Probably because I'm trying to suppress it. I do have a cough drop here. I just hate to talk to you while I've got one in my mouth. Okay, I am just about done with my focal point that I'm going to apply to my card here. I need a sentiment. Let's see. Oh, I need my bees. I didn't take care of my bees. That was silly. All right, let me grab my little block. This is a bee block, I believe. Okay, I have 3 different bees here. One of them, though, I'm not so sure is going to look right, so I know for sure I'm going to use 2 of them. So, is this fun, or is it stressful trying to... Man, I swear I didn't re-ink both of them, but that's way too heavy. That's better. I need something in between. I really don't want you to hear this cough drop in my mouth. That's better. Now let me ink up the other bee. I was hoping to have 3 bees on the front of my card. So you'll see there's a bee facing to the right, a bee facing to the left, and one that's square on. And I have dies for cutting these out. I'm going to stamp this over here because I suspect it's dark. I'm going to roll with that. And then I still need to pick my sentiment as well. But I think I'm going to get these bees cut out first. And because I do have some going in each direction, I can cut 2 of them at the same time. Let's see, what sentiment do I want? So glad we're family, miss you, best of luck, stay wonderful, you're the nicest, or the companion set, have a perfect birthday. You know what, I think I'm going to use that. Yeah, birthdays. My year got off to a rough start. I realized yesterday I had overlooked my son-in-law's birthday, which was on the 11th. So I am horridly embarrassed. And I know that he will be very gracious and understanding, and I will still be embarrassed. But he's sweet like that. The dies. Actually, I got pretty lucky when it came to the son-in-law department. I'm going to reuse that same post-it tape that I used earlier. And see if I could figure out. I think this one is this one. And I'm going to try to line this up without getting my head in the camera. And if I do, please love me anyway, because I'm trying. Here we are. There's one. I have the pleasure of making a bunch of thank you cards in the next couple of days. All right, I can run that through the mini. Now, one of the things that I forgot to mention earlier, oh, you are, okay, a smidge stressful just because you did not plan out what I would use until the last minute. That's okay. You know what? Sometimes people find mystery stamping stressful because they don't know what the end is going to be and they're trying to plan it. And the process is actually supposed to help you kind of get out of your comfort zone. And so a lot of times, this first card is nothing but your practice card, but then you'll know what you absolutely love about it and what you want to apply next time. So don't get stressed out. There's no grade on this. Okay, the first 2 B's are cut out. And I'm going to need to apply one of the dies to the last B. I really hope you guys can't hear my cough drop. It bothers me, the thought of it. But it's working, I'm not coughing. I don't know why I was coughing. I haven't been. Change of weather, I guess. Okay, I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just lining up my die on my last B, so I can run that through. So I'm not doing any special, hidden, exciting, just lining up that last die. And your cut and emboss machine, by the way, it goes both directions. Okay, I think I started to tell you and then I got sidetracked. If my paper pumpkin, my January paper pumpkin, if it arrives in the next week, next Thursday, we're going to do a kit night instead of mystery stamping. And I would like to start doing that once a month so that I can introduce our kit collections. I'm not going to buy every single kit collection, but I would like to start showing those to people that might not know what they are, might not understand what they are. Also, if somebody else has purchased a kit, even if it's a different kit than the one I'm going to be demonstrating, I would encourage people to join in and kit right along with me. Now, I think the first one I'm going to go ahead and do as a Facebook Live. Kit night traditionally is done as a Zoom, so people can talk amongst themselves and show each other what they're doing. But because people are not used to me doing it, I'm not anticipating that a lot of people will actually have a kit to do along with me. So, okay. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. I was really worried about whether or not somebody could hear me sucking on a cough drop. How unprofessional. I am going to start with the light Daffodil Delight, and I think I might have two. I do. So see if one of these is juicier than the other one. And I'm just applying yellow to the body and head. And then I'm going to apply a wink of Stella to the wings. Now, if you don't know what wink of Stella is, it's an alcohol-based medium that's full of iridescent sparkles. So obviously I'm choosing to do that on my bee's wings. Not to make them as realistic as possible, but it does, you know, it's a nice touch. So there, and it's just a little brush tip. And right. I can try to hold one of these up and see if you can see it. I don't think you can. You'll have to just trust me. All right, so now I've got my bees, I've got my focal point. Just gonna go on here, and I'm gonna have one bee up here and probably a couple towards the bottom. I have the ribbon that I want to use, which is also part of this Heart and Home collection. This is the, I think we're calling it denim ribbon. Hi, Barb. And let's see. So I need to pick out a sentiment. And I said I think I'm going to have a perfect birthday, didn't I? Gosh, I'm a little bit tempted to grab a different ink pad because I'm not happy with how those first two have produced. So I think I'm going to go ahead and grab my Night of Navy. And going to grab a scrap from my scrap bin. No need to cut up a new piece of cardstock. Set my bees to one side. Whoops, one flipped over. We're going to see how straight I can stamp this sentiment. I already washed this, so I can put this away. I need that block. Barb, I understand that you were able to get some of those bow makers. I'm so glad. I think it's cool when we can support our local crafts people. Whew, did I get lucky with that or what? Is that crooked? Gosh, just ever so barely. I'm going to try that one more time. Which one do I like better? I like the first one better. And no one will be able to tell it's crooked if I do a banner cut. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to cut this just like this. So I see that there's several demonstrators on here tonight. Hi, Carla. Thank you. I can go over the instructions really quickly too. We're almost done, but I can really quickly go over the instructions. It's pretty simple. Little banner cut. I'm going to go ahead and banner cut both sides. Anyway, I saw that there's several demonstrators on here. I'm attending 2 different conventions this weekend simultaneously. How about you all? I've got some business stuff to learn, and I've got some inspiration to soak up, and I'm really excited about it. Hi, Jean. Here's my Jean. She's my buddy. She sends me beautiful inspiration photos. Okay, I'm going to clean off my stamp just because I am just kind of a fanatic about it. Okay, I am ready to assemble a front to my card now. So I'm going to go over the instructions again real quick. We had 2 pieces of colored cardstock. One was 5.5 by 8.5. It is scored at, turn this around, at 3 and 6 and 7 1/4. And then it folds like such. Then there was a second piece of colored cardstock. It's this one here. It was 3 1/4 by 6. It's scored at 4 1/4. You put on your designer series paper in these 3 locations. You're going to adhere the bottom of this front panel. You can do it in the center or you can do it off to the side. This is called a faux step card. Then after you collapse your card, you're going to adhere, there's just a little piece back here, and you're going to adhere just the edge to the back, and then that's covered by your white cardstock where you put your message. Okay? And now you're caught up. We are decorating the front of our cards. So I'm actually going to lay this down. I think I'm going to put my, kind of wanting to plan my layout here. So I'm going to use dimensionals and such, but let's see, do I want this? No, I definitely like this like such. And I like this kind of going over it. Yeah, like that. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting that dimensionals on the back of that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this weekend of just lots of inspiration and soaking it up. I know what I've been doing already, but maybe seeing if there's not a couple of other steps that I can be doing that would enhance my offering to my customers. I think that would be a good way to spend my time this weekend. Besides that, I love my little conventions because those are the weekends that I wear my sweats. My husband brings me my chai tea. Let's see. I'm going to do that just like that. So I've just got that up on one layer of dimensionals. Before I put my bees on, I'm going to go ahead and put my sentiment and figure out my ribbon. How do I want to put my ribbon? Actually, I probably should have done my ribbon behind this, but I didn't think of it till now. I can do a bow, I think. Where's my bow maker? Bow maker, bow maker. Here it is. Thank you, Jean. I thought you would. I hope your foot is feeling well. I tell you what, there is a group of great women on here tonight, and I appreciate it greatly. All right. This bow maker, I like to mention every time that I use it where I got it. My friend Ron Hartley makes these on his 3D printer. If you live in the Kennewick area or in the Tri-Cities area, he sells them directly. You can pick them up from him, or you can purchase through me. Either way. But it's a nice little side gig for my friend. If you don't know Ron, you can contact Kathy. Oh, that looks nice. I think that looks really nice. Let's see. So if I make I don't think I'm going to make my bow too big. Do I want it lower or higher? I don't want it to cover up my... I cut the tails. Start a little bit long. How you doing, Andy? I don't mean to keep putting you on the spot. I just want to make sure that I'm not ignoring any needs that you have. I'm going to use a mini glue dot to attach this. Even though I haven't 100% figured out my sentiment yet. I mean, I know what the sentiment is, but is it that bad that the ribbon comes down on there? I don't think so. Let's see. I like it kind of, well, I could center that too. I like it over the, you like that? I'm talking to myself big time. I like it over the stem. You're coming along. Okay. Are you coloring your image, or is it stamped coloring, or do you want me to quit asking you questions because you're busy? I'm just trying to time myself with you. I can trim that ribbon a little bit more. I think I'm going to do something along those lines. I like it kind of off to one side a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and maintain that because I like it. Then I just need to add some dimensionals to my bees. I'm kind of wondering if they're dark enough, but I'm going to make them work. Could not find your markers, so you... Okay, nice. You have the technology. All right, I've got my banner a little offset there. So I can go ahead and cut this ribbon a little shorter so that it doesn't completely hide the sentiment. Donna, did you go to the, matter of fact, several of you on here may have gone to the customer appreciation. Sorry, I hit my camera by accident. At Kara's, how was that? I was wondering how it would go because of that, or I'm really struggling personally. I want to start having in-person classes, and then of course every time I plan that, the numbers start going back up. Oh, that's okay. Don't you worry about that, Andy. You will find a way to make that work. Let's see. Put a bee there. And it might be something that you go back and finish later. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see, so there's 2 going the same direction, 1 going the other direction. So I'm going to put this one right on a flower, and maybe this one will be I don't want them to look like they're marching. Maybe I don't need 3. Maybe 2 is plenty. What do you all think? Oh, maybe if I rotate it, it won't look the same. I don't know that I need that 3rd bee, but okay. There is my card. What do you think? Do you like this design? Okay, so I am going to show you my prototype, the one that I used to make sure that all of my dimensions were correct before I go live. So this is the, thank you Donna and Andy. So this is the one I made earlier. And I easily could have put that flower up there and had the greenery coming down, but I didn't. But at least I knew that all my dimensions were correct before I posted anything online. So those are my 2 cards. So this is called a faux step card. A step card normally has this piece off to one side, and then there's these couple of steps over here that you do some embellishments on. You could easily do that with this. You could move this over to one side, and then you would have something to work with. Let's see, how'd I do? Okay, I'm just a little bit over an hour. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining. Andy, I hope that you'll send me a picture of your card. I would love to see it. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Like I mentioned, if I get my paper pumpkin this coming week, next week will be a kit class instead of mystery stamping, and I'm going to be starting that 1 time a month. So it'll be every other all of the Thursdays will be mystery stamping except for 1, and 1 will be a kit class. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you all again. I hope that you all have a wonderful week and weekend. Stay well, be safe, and I love you all. Yeah, it is. You're right, Donna, it really is. Okay, big hugs, everybody. Bye-bye.